Donald Trump had a handful of special guests in the audience last night, including our next guest, Karen Vaughn, and her husband.
They are Gold Star parents. Her son, Navy SEAL Aaron Vaughn, was killed in Afghanistan back in 2011.
That's right. After his death, Karen and her husband Billy made it their mission to speak out on military issues.
Joining us now for their take, I should say, on last night's debate and their experience there in the audience, Karen Vaughn and her husband Billy Vaughn. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
First of all, I'm so sorry about your loss. We've talked about Aaron. I know you were speaking at the convention and did a great job there. Why is it important to support Donald Trump after the loss of your son?
Well, I'll go first. We need a safe America again. This administration and their policies, along with Hillary Clinton, have utterly failed American citizens. They've failed the U.S. military, and, you know, we just need safety. We need security. We need somebody who will say what they mean and mean what they say, and we definitely need somebody who believes in the people of this country instead of, you know, knocking off 25% of them as deplorables and different comments. Like 50% of our, but 25% of the entire population, right. You know, basically, she calls deplorables, which was never brought up last night.
Yeah.
You know.
A number of questions that they never did. Billy, let me ask you this. So you're in the audience, and you were told, everybody, pipe down. Yeah. Even if you want to make some racket, how'd you abide by that?
I did well all night long, except at one point when Mr. Trump said, when she asked about his IRS, about his tax return, by the way, which is not against the law, the IRS is governing him. And then he said if you'd release the 3,000 emails. And you know, the place erupted, and I fell in line there a little bit.
And what, did anybody nearby go, tisk, tisk?
Oh, I got a...
Like that?
Yeah, just... Was someone just dismissive, just like Hillary treated Donald Trump all night long. Just dismissive.
Can I say something? Everybody you had on here this morning has been experts, okay? And they've been doing this a long time. But I wouldn't be here today if my son hadn't died. Y'all wouldn't listen to anything I have to say. So I'm speaking to you as just a guy from out there. And this is what I see. I see a man with passion when I look at Mr. Trump. I see a man who wants to make America better. No, he doesn't say everything right. He doesn't say in the way that Mrs. Clinton or a seasoned politician or somebody who's been there most of my life would say it. And this morning you had Mr. Podesta on here, and he talked smooth just like Mrs. Clinton. But he's been with Mrs. Clinton and the Clintons all these years. He knows where the bodies are buried. In fact, maybe he helped shovel dirt on some of them.
And Barack Obama.
And right. President Obama. And for Mrs. Clinton cannot separate herself from the last 8 years. And Mr. Trump made that clear last night. She wants it both ways, though. She wants to talk about how good things are, and then she wants to talk about things that need to be done to fix things. And one of the key things she said last night, she wants to retrain our law enforcement.
Yep.
This is exactly what Mr. Obama and Mrs. Clinton in the State Department did to our military, and it caused needless sacrifice, needless lives were lost because of this retraining.
All right, so let's get your takes for someone who really has some skin in this game with the loss of your son. When they say that Donald Trump's acting irresponsibly because he said that if Iran's going to buzz our ships, they're going to hear from us. Essentially, they're going to get hit back. You saw what Iran did to it 3 times. Last week, they buzzed our ships in the Persian Gulf. They taunted, as the Russians have done, as the Chinese have done, as North Korea taunts. Does that showing that Donald Trump wanting to respond aggressively is the wrong leader?
This is what I'll say about that. One of the things that impressed me the most about Mr. Trump, besides his passion, he is continually surrounding himself with good people. People that Americans can trust. People that have a good track record for standing up against our enemies. People that have a track record for putting America first. And people like me out there, because I don't talk to the people y'all talk to here, but people like me out there in the country, rednecks, just common everyday people, but who are working and who are, I'm concerned too. Mrs. Clinton said she's concerned about her grandkids. We've got 6. We're not going to leave them a country like my son and my daughters grew up in if we continue down this road that Mrs. Clinton wants to give us. Mr. Trump is surrounding himself with people who will make this country what it needs to be again.
Karen, your son Aaron was a Navy SEAL. He fought for this country. and we are so proud of him for that and thank him for that. He had 2 children, leaves those behind. You'll have 6 grandchildren. Are you fighting so hard for Trump because you believe that he's going to turn this country around for your grandkids and prevent other kids like your son from dying?
That's absolutely why I fight. And, you know, adding to what Brian's question was earlier, and that combined is that Aaron was 7 years old when Ronald Reagan spoke those famous words, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." He didn't say, let's have a beer and sit down and talk about it. He didn't say, I'm going to funnel you $400 million or $1.7 billion in cash under the, you know,
on pallets.
Thank you. In the dark of night, he said, tear down this wall. And what happened? The wall came down because in that era, our word meant something. People knew you did not mess with the United States of America. We were the balancing factor across the nations. And that's what we believe Mr. Trump can provide again through strong leadership. We have been leading from behind for 7.5 years, and the world is in chaos because when there's a vacancy of power with good people, the bad people will fill that vacancy, and that's exactly what we've witnessed.
Such powerful words. Karen and Billy Vaughn joining us today from Stuart, Florida. Karen, thank you.
Thank you.
Billy.
Honored to be here.
Nice seeing you.
Honored to have you.
All our best to both of you and to your 2 daughters.
Thank you.
Welcome.